What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Richard Prophet, and welcome back to the Prophet Realty Group channel. Yeah. We are back on track. It's Sunday night, and we're talking watches, right? Yeah. So, real quick, let me just mention the other night I was lucky enough to catch Rich Buddy's live stream. A lot of us in the watch community, we know Rich Buddy. He has a great channel and he does these live streams. And let me tell you, I missed it a couple times, but the other night I was actually able to catch it live. And, he's had guys in there, they really know about watches. They're serious watch guys on Rich Buddy's live stream. And when I jump in there, Rich says, "Hey, Prophet, welcome. I love your channel, man. I love you. He showed me a lot of love. And, I spoke to him a few times before, but never just like this. And he showed me a lot of love. And I really felt at home. It's crazy because, my whole life growing up, I spoke about it in why I call it the Landlord Watch video. For those, I know most guys have seen it, but for those of you that haven't seen it, I'll include it at the end of this video. But growing up, all I ever really wanted to do was get one watch, get one Rolex. And it's great for the watch community at large to actually open their arms and embrace me, accept me as one of their own. So, I'm really proud of that, and I'm humbled by it. Yeah. So, let's have a drink to that, family. That's what we on tonight. Johnny Walker Blue Label, and this was actually gifted to me at my party. Had a big birthday bash the other night. It was my party. Cookie threw me a surprise shindig or whatever. So we're gonna on the little blue label. Thank you. In Johnny Walker glass. Actually got these off of Amazon. So these are pretty cool. So have a little sip of Johnny Blue. Cheers, fam. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so let's get started. So, as the title says, I sold my Rolex, and I feel like such a loser. Excuse me. Now, what I'm speaking about there is, all through my 20s, I wore a fake Rolex. Right, I used to go down the canal. I'm gonna make a whole video about it, but just real quick, I wore fake Rolex all through my 20s. So my first Rolex was a two-tone bluesy Landlord watch. I believe I got it in 2001. 2001. I had a car dealership with a partner, with my best friend growing up. And somebody came by, a cousin of a customer. Well, he was a customer too. He came by selling it, and he sold it to me for $1,500. And he sold it to me for $1,500. And I ended up selling it years later after, business going bad, real estate. After, 2008 happened, whatever. I flopped. I was on my ass, I was on my ass. I was back, I had to go back to work, selling all my little things that I had. And, one of the things that I sold was my watch. I bought it for $1,500. I ended up selling it for, I believe it was $3,500, if I'm not mistaken. Either 33 or 3,500. I think it was 3,500. Naked, no box, no papers. As a matter of fact, I used to keep it in a in a white sock, in a bobby sock. Those of you remember bobby socks. I used to keep it in a bobby sock, just fold it whatever up, fold it, throw it in the sock, throw it in the drawer. You know, completely disrespectful to the watch. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I used to keep it. And you know, when I sold it, um, when I sold it, I'll be honest with you. Even though I had the money that I needed, you know, I got money that I needed. I sold the watch for like almost doubled what I paid, but uh, you know, it hurt me so much to sell that watch. Not only was that my first real Rolex, but the watch, the landlord watch, had you know such a whole nother meaning for me, a whole deeper level. A lot of guys know what I'm talking about. It just really hurt me. You know, after walking out of that store, I remember I had a convertible Ford Mustang, and I remember I was parked. I don't know, 47th Street, you know, in New York City, you know, you can't park on that block. But I was parked like on Broadway, a few blocks away, maybe 2 blocks away. And I remember I had to walk to my car. It seemed like, you know, it couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 blocks. But I'm telling you, that walk, it seemed like, you know, I walked for like 10 miles back to my car. Um, you know, I walked with my head down, my whole body slumped over. I I was, even though I had a pocket full of money, I was so, because the guy paid me in cash, but I was so depressed. Like, you know, I felt like such a loser. I felt like such a bum. Like, this hurt me to my core. It was worse than you know, than losing my business, than you know, being almost wiped out, completely wiped out of the real estate market, of having to go back, you know, with my tail between my, you know, knees, going back to work. Selling that watch, you know, crushed me. It almost, like, you know, stamped me down into the ground. I love that watch, even though it wasn't, you know, it was an older iteration but you know, two tone, and but it had the hollow links. It had, like, it didn't have this beautiful glide lock clasp. It had like this big clanky bracelet that you had to unfold, and it was clanky. I think it was called stamp steel or whatever, and you know, the clasp was terrible, but you know, I love that watch. And yeah, I had a one of our part of our family here in the channel, Calibre. He asked me, "Hey, Prophet, what would be your dream 3-piece collection?" Um, I know you did a video about it before, but have your taste changed at all? And I said, you know what? As a matter of fact, yes. Now I don't have, you know, the perfect 3-piece collection anymore. My perfect, if I can get any watch I wanted, my perfect collection would actually be a 4-piece collection, and it'd be 4-piece complete. Now, number one would be the solid gold landlord black dial. You know, that's the first, and the modern iteration. You know, with the solid end links, the glide lock clasp, the ceramic. You know, this is just a perfect watch. First, cast my first vote in the box. In, done. I have to drink to that. Solid gold, brand new ceramic landlord. First one. Number two, I would get a rose gold rainbow Daytona. You know, say what you will about it. I love that watch. I tried to get it from my AD, and it was, you know, they shut me down immediately. It's a long story. I speak all about it in the video. If you haven't seen that video, check that video out. It's very eye-opening. I tell a lot of Rolex AD secrets in that video. I'll also include that at the end of this video so you can check that out. So that's number 2. Number 3, yellow gold. Clean example. Yellow gold. First iteration, first run, King Midas 9630, and I would have to have the urn with all the pieces of the urn, the outer box, which is a white and gold thing. A lot of people that haven't never even seen the outer box, but I would have to have the outer box, and I would have to have the certificate, you know, the paper. Yeah, so clean, original run, yellow King Midas 9630 with the urn, the stand, and the outer box, and the paper, and the certificate. And number 4, two-tone bluesy landlord watch. Two-tone bluesy landlord watch. And the newest one, you know, ceramic, solid end links, glide lock clasp. I mean, aesthetically, you know, if you've never seen it in the wild, or you've never held it in your hand, or if you never really seen it in real life, that watch is aesthetically probably one of the best looking watches on the planet. Definitely one of the most copied watches. Homage, you know, crap, bull, BS. You know, that watch is it's really, that watch, the two-tone bluesy, aka landlord watch, is the ceramic, the new one, is really a, if you had to, it could be a one, you know, you could be a one watch guy owning that watch, because you can dress it down, you can dress it up. It is a very versatile piece, and it's immediately recognizable. Oh, that's a Rolex. You know, so, and because you know, I'm still not overselling mine. I'm still not overselling mine. You were talking about so many years ago, and when I bring it up, I'm still depressed about it. You know, when I sat down to make this video, I started, you know, I felt that feeling back in my, you know, this is years later. You know, I got several pieces, you know, I got beautiful watches now. I got expensive Rolex. I got hard to get Rolex. You know, I was one of the first guys with a Pepsi. You know, I got one of the first 4. You know, I got one of the first 4. So, you know, but that that watch, that my first real Rolex, you know, it meant something to me. So, yeah, number 4 of my perfect 4-piece collection will be that two-tone bluesy, but you know, the new model, because the new watches, Rolex. There's one thing about Rolex right now. The modern generation of the Rolex is such a well-made product that anyone you buy, you really can't go wrong. They're so well made at this point in time that you get so much for your money. Whether you're getting a solid gold piece, you cannot get a solid gold piece any other watch for that price point. Whether you're getting a two-tone piece, the quality of the two-tone is fantastic. The all steel, I mean, just the quality, and two-tone is making its way back big time. Two-tone is back in a big way. As a matter of fact, I made a video about that. Cookie did a cameo appearance in that video. A lot of people waiting for Cookie to make another appearance, but I'll include that video at the end of this video if you want to watch that again for the 3rd time. Yeah, so that'll be my perfect 4-piece collection. It's changed from my other video, but yeah, I'm pretty much solid on that. I pulled out some videos, actually, pictures of my original, my first Rolex, my first real Rolex, because I wore fake Why? I'm not. I'll be the first to admit I wore a fake watch, fake Rolex. I had several different fake Rolex. I'm gonna make a whole video about it and talk about it. I actually have pictures of of some of them. I wore fake watches all through my 20s, fake Rolexes. But this was my first real Rolex, and it still bothers me. All these years later, all these watches later, it still bothers me. Look at this. These are pictures from, it's crazy. Look, on the back of this picture, it's an actual physical picture. I know these don't exist no more, but you see where it says on the back, Kodak. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't have that watch anymore. That watch, I don't know what happened to it, but in my life, it doesn't exist anymore. And Kodak paper, Kodak company, whatever, I don't even think they exist anymore. But yeah, check out your boy right there. Check out the watch. Can you see it? Can you see the blue? Yeah. that was a whole different world. This 2001, 2002. Yeah, let me see if I can get a better picture. Oh, this one is beautiful. This one's a nice clear picture. We were on an airplane. I believe I was going to Santo Domingo for the second time with my best friend growing up. He was actually the guy I owned the car dealership with. But yeah, look, this is a more clear shot. You see the blue there? See the blue? Yep. That was a two-tone bluesy, aka landlord watch. That I bought for $1,500 at the car lot. Somebody brought it to the car lot, and that I ended up selling that years later after falling on my ass, having to go back to work and selling off, my little trinkets. I bought it for $1,500 and I ended up selling it for $3,500, $3,300, something like that. Naked, no box, no papers. It's crazy because I used to completely disrespectful of the watch. I used to keep it in a white sock, in a bobby sock. I used to fold it, put it in a sock, and just throw it in my drawer. It was crazy. I was with a young lady at the time, and we were both young, in our 20s. Whenever we used to argue or whatever, go back and forth, she used to always reach for the watch. She always tried to go for the watch. And one time she jumped in the bed and grabbed the clasp of the watch and went like this. And it didn't have this clasp. It had like the clasp was horrible on the older watches. That age, 2001, 2002, it had like this big clunky clasp that you had to fold over, and it was like hollow. The bracelet rattled, and but anyway, she and it had like these lines on it. The clasp was terrible compared to this new clasp, the glide lock clasp. 0 to 100. That's how I can classify it. But anyway, she put a big scratch on it. So yeah, that watch always had a big scratch on it, and whenever I looked at the scratch, because I wore the watch every day, I looked at the scratch, I remembered how I got it, how I got that battle scar on that watch. So, that actually added to the charm of the watch. To this day, years later, so many years later, so many watches later, so many deals later, actually so many lifetimes later, because that was like a whole another lifetime. I still think about that watch and the stories. The stories still put a smile on my face. And when I think about it, when I bring it up, I look at these pictures. It's crazy because I can get that feeling in my gut again about, it takes me back to to that day that I had to give it away, and yeah, it takes me right back there. I remember, like on 47th Street, if you're not familiar, there's no parking on that block. There's no cars allowed on that block. I mean, you can go through it, but you can't park on the block. But so I parked maybe 3 blocks down, like on Broadway or something, and after selling the watch, I had a pocket full of money because the guy paid me in cash, and my head down, my whole body slumped like this, walking back to my car. I had a white convertible Mustang. It had like a beige top, and I had beige leather seats with burgundy, in the middle, and the console was all burgundy. I mean, that's another thing I had to, I sold right after the watch. But I remember walking back to the car, and it was only like 2 or 3 blocks or whatever, but it felt like forever. It felt like that I was walking for 10 miles. I felt like such a loser, like I was such a failure in life. Like the whole, the culmination of my whole life, of everything I've done, came down to that moment, and I crapped out. I lost. I thought I was done. Yeah. And now looking at it now, like in the big picture, like looking back at that life, yeah, that was lifetimes ago. That was lifetimes ago, and but that moment of selling that watch was devastating. That's why when people talk about, oh, I'll just sell this while do you don't understand. You don't understand how serious it can be to sell a watch. Now, selling a watch is not trading in a watch. It's not like trading up a watch. Like you trade in a while, you'll go to your AD, they'll allow you to trade in a watch, and you get another watch. You throw that on your wrist. Okay, I got another watch now. It replaces that. But you just give your watch in, and they give you money, and you have to use it. That's a hard one to get over, man. That's a hard one to get over. I got a friend now. I met him here in the watch community. We speak a lot now, and we become buds. And he's in real estate as well, and he's in a couple other businesses, and he's big in the watch community. If I mention his name, you would know him, but he kind of likes to stay low key. So he has a similar story as well. He had to sell his day date. He had a rose gold day date, and to buy, he needed a down payment for a piece of property years ago when we were all starting out. He had to sell his rose gold Daytona, rose gold president, day date, and to this day, many properties later, businesses later, years later, watches later, he has a collection of watches. It still bothers him to this day when he talks about it. He feels the same way I feel. So yeah, you never really get over it. You never get over it. You never get over really selling your watch. So my advice to you guys out there in this hobby, in this space, in this lifestyle that we call watch collecting, don't sell that watch unless you absolutely have to, because it will haunt you. It will haunt you. It will haunt you. It's still haunting me. All these lifetimes later. is still haunting me. Calibre 31. This is the answer to your question. What would be my perfect three-piece collection? Actually, it would be a four-piece collection because I have to add that last one. It will have to be a modern two-tone bluesy landlord watch. Yeah. All right. I'm your host, Richard Prophet. This is the Prophet Realty Group channel. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the watch community. Thank you to the watch community at large for accepting me with open arms, allowing me to share my, my journey, my horological journey with you, my watch stories, some of my personal stories, and connecting with some guys, on a personal level where, yeah. A lot of us have had the same experiences, and we've been down the same roads. Yeah. So thank you again for spending a little piece of your Sunday with me and allowing me to share with you. And I'm gonna do another video on Christmas Day, a couple days from now. Today's 2 days from now, we're gonna do another video. I bought another watch. This is my second watch. Count them, 1, 2, second watch this year. I bought another watch. I've had it already a while, but I'm gonna reveal it on Christmas Day. We're gonna do a Christmas special. Christmas Day, we're gonna reveal the watch. We're gonna announce the winner of the giveaway. And I think you know who you are already, but anyway, we're gonna announce it 2 days on Christmas Day. We're gonna announce the giveaway. We're gonna send you your prize, and I'm gonna reveal my new watch. All right. Again, I'm your host, Richard Prophet. This is the Prophet Realty Group channel, and thank you for watching. Happy holidays. Yeah.